Alright, so a new Labyrinth game mode has just come out on global, and today we're going to be taking a look and explaining how the game mode works and giving some tips and strategies to actually beat it. This will be something that will be resetting every single month, and we're probably going to be getting a completely different board and completely different boss fights every single month, so pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, we're here on global actually, on my global account. I just did a run before recording this where I got to the last boss, and it was actually pretty decent. This whole game mode comes down to game knowledge, decision making, and a little bit of luck. Actually a lot of luck, but especially if you don't have specific characters. But first, as soon as you start, you have to pick one character for you to start with. They'll be level 1 with no awakening, and then you level them up and awaken them as you go. So first thing, the first character you pick doesn't matter that much, but it will be a decision between a random non-festival Bond, a random Elihawk, a random non-festival Giant Tien, and a random non-festival Miliotis. The green brawler Bond is not too bad. They're all pretty bad. The only character that I would say is kind of okay is maybe like Green DM Miliotis for this run. Should be honest, the first character you get, you'll probably get rid of him at some point. After your first fight, the game mode actually starts. You have to make a decision. Do you want to give all of your characters an extra 2 awakening or an extra 10 levels? Now, you know, I tend to first go with the 2 awakening because awakening is in the beginning a little bit more valuable because you level up a little bit more easily than you just get awakening. You can only awaken through the power-ups, but leveling up you level up every stage. And now you get to pick another character. And the selection here will range between a random Escanor, a random King, a random Merlin, and a random Galfer, except Halloween Galfer, because I've never seen him here. Also, it might just be a random Slater for whatever reason, but the best picks you can have for the second one, very important, if you have Summer Merlin, you can randomly get her here. If you don't, unfortunately you can't. Summer Merlin legitimately cheeses the whole game mode, except the bosses. But the bosses, you can, you know, make do with what you have. So long as you have Summer Merlin, you can use whatever other character you want, because she cheeses every other stage. But if you don't, like I actually don't on my global account, Red Escanor is okay. I'm going to end up picking him, but one of the best options is Red Galfer, because he actually also cheese most of the stages with his attack seal. I did not get him right now because it's random. So if you do actually have Summer Merlin, I would recommend choosing the left path. In the beginning, these stages that have this, you know, pop up here on top will give you a random passive. And these random passives are pretty good or pretty bad. We'll talk about some of the passives as soon as we actually unlock one. But for me, because I don't have Summer Merlin, I'll actually be leveling up my characters so they can tank a little bit more, or they're gonna die. You don't want your characters to die here, because if they die, you have to revive them manually, or you can't really continue. So with each fight beat, you'll see you get this currency, which you can then use for various things. The major thing you can do with that currency is actually use it on the shop, which one of the shops is right here, for buying various things. You can re-roll the characters you get from one of those pickup character spots. Usually the re-roll doesn't even do anything. I don't know if it's bugged, but a lot of times I've re-rolled and I just got the same characters again. Maybe it's by chance, but you know. Retry, if you do lose, you can actually use it to retry the same boss again. And I think that's about it. But let's continue here, and once we can unlock a passive, we'll talk about what the best passives are, which honestly is the most important thing in this game mode. So as we get to our third pick of characters, the third character you get will usually be a Holy Knight, or I've seen Hellburn be able to be picked as well. Just not a Holy Knight, but like one below Holy Knight, I think. And they're not very good, but you still need them so that you can actually progress. Because you need CC, so I'm going to actually pick the Jericho here. They're pretty bad. If not for the need of CC, I would go for leveling up my character, but you know, it is what it is. And then we're also going to go for the next one. So to move there, we actually need to go left. And again, this will be one that will give us a passive, so once we beat this, I'll be right back. Alright, so once we beat these stages that have the passives, you see we'll proc, once we do okay. It will proc you an option to pick one of 3 random passives. And you need to make sure that you pick one that you stick with. So thankfully we got this right here. So this is the best you can get, possibly. Is one of these passives that have, in the beginning of turn, you get 3 orbs, based on a certain condition. So let's read here. Fills the ultimate gauge of all allies with benefit for 3 orbs at the start of turns if all have same attribute or if all are different races. Now, unfortunately for us, we can't really use either of these. There's so many of different ones. There's like all same race, which is a pretty good one. You can you run like full humans. You can have all different attributes, which would be like probably one of the best ones as well. We got pretty bad ones, same attribute and different races. I'm gonna have to go with this because it is really powerful having this this one, and hope we get a green character. Okay, we're gonna go with having him just so we can have the passive for the 3 ultimate gauge. Not the best because the characters we have aren't very good, but like I said, it is what it is. The first characters you get are not very great, and the better characters start coming in on the second floor. But one great character to get on this that we unfortunately did not see was Red Slater, because Red Slater completely cheeses the first boss. So let's look at the shop here. The shop will provide with many different things. If you have enough to buy a new hero, you can also pick from an assortment of very different ones. I think this first shop allows you to pick a catastrophe. That's what I've seen from before. In our case, I will actually buy levels because it's, I think, the best thing we can buy right now. And let's go to the boss. This will be tough because we don't have Red Slater. But we will be ult-rushing him in our first turn. You can't freeze him, so our assignment won't be very useful, but we could attack seal him. So again, if you have Red Galfer, or if you have, let's do this right here. Hopefully he doesn't one-shot the Jericho, but I think he's gonna go for the Gustav. If you have Red Galfer or Summer Merlin, you can actually continuously attack seal him. If you have Red Galfer and Slater, or Red Galfer and Summer Merlin Slater, you can actually seal his stance and seal his attack cards as well. So let's do this. And should be a kill. Oh, I should have ulted Jericho first, just in case. But that's fine, we're going to be doing that. This is what I'm saying, that the passive to get 3 ultimate gauge is the best passive. And if you can mix that with other passives as well, like if we get the passive that's like, if all characters have the same attribute, you gain 30% basic stats and stuff like that. Like if you can combo these passives, it's really great, and that's how you end up getting a much easier win than if you otherwise get pretty unlucky with the passives. The passives are everything, I'm telling you, and you want to go for having as many passives as you can. And the stat buffing ones are also pretty important. So again, you need to keep on the lookout, and game knowledge will dictate for you instantly like what passives you feel are better. But this was just, I just want to give the first, let's actually do this. Yeah. The first nudge that getting the 3 ultimate gauge in the beginning of battle is very, very OP. And, for a random stage like this, let me show again. Unfortunately, we take somewhat damage. It's not the most damage, but still. We can just basically cheese by doing this. I'm pretty sure the guy will die, but let's see. Die to the ultimate. Unfortunately, Gustav's ultimate is pretty bad. We want a better character than him, that's for sure. But we unfortunately got one of the worst ones. Again, needing to have the same attribute is pretty bad. The same race one is pretty good if you're going for humans like we are right now. But it is, like I said, it is RNG based, and you may not get the best passives off the get-go. So these types of passives right here that we just got are actually pretty interesting, because it combos pretty well. It increases the hero's attack by 30%, the hero's ultimate gauge move is completely filled. It's something that, is going to happen because we are ult rushing and getting, our ultimates pretty quickly. So let's see what character is going to get. Ooh, we can get a green Arthur to replace the Simon, and I definitely will go for that. So we're going to be actually replacing our Red Askener with green Arthur, because we are using all mono green essentially, which is pretty bad for the last boss. The last boss is red, but we'll figure it out as we go. And I will replace, I think, Jericho for now, because we can utilize the freeze until we get to the boss. And on the shop, maybe we can get a new passive. Increases the damage dealt by 10% for every orb. Oh. Increases, this is pretty bad. Increases human allies' basic stats by 10%. I think we're gonna go for this. Increasing our stats is pretty huge. Pretty huge. Like I just said, the last boss, in floor 3 is red, and you might be asking why I'm making a mono green team, but the second boss right here is blue, and it's the droll boss, which ends up being the most annoying to deal with for a lot of people. So we have these options. I think I'm actually going to go for increasing our awakening over getting a new character. Leveling up and awakening your character is very important, so you need to keep a healthy balance of picking new characters. Sure, picking new characters is very important, but also acquiring the new passives and leveling up and awakening. And that's the balance is what tends to be the harder part, because as much as we want to focus a lot on the awakening and leveling up aspect, the passives are the unpredictable, right? And the thing that sometimes ends up being hard to deal with. Also, by the way, sorry for cutting all the fights basically, but except the boss fights, the fights are not the big thing you're here for. Like the fights, you can do them yourself, but the game choices are what's really going to dictate if you win or not. And here's what I'm really helping with this video. The fights, they're just regular fights. You know how to play the game. You click the card, you kill the thing, and what's really gonna help you do the fights is choosing the right passives, and not just sitting here and seeing me do the fight manually, each individual one. Okay, this is one of the best passives as well. Decreases all enemies attack by 7% for each ally in the battlefield. This one's pretty good. This one is not very good, except for the last boss, because it does have a lot of lifesteal. But yeah, losing lifesteal in this one, which is card specific. I wouldn't recommend getting card specific passives, because they're very specific. Let's see if we can pick a new character. Ooh. I will certainly change my Gustav for Estarossa. That is a great character to swap into. We will unfortunately not increase our ult level, which would be pretty good, but I cannot pass on the Estarossa. He could be very huge alongside Arthur, because then you attack lowering the enemies and you have the damage reduction. That's pretty good. So now we got to the second boss, and this I think is actually the hardest boss, harder than the last one, but it is Droll. And his passives, let's go in and we'll talk about what he does. He hits you very hard. He one-shots red characters, and the biggest thing you have to deal with is the fact that he gets more attack the more buffs he has. So, okay. Let's go for this, right? We're gonna actually pop in the Estarossa counter. Get the... he's attacking twice, that's very unfortunate. Get the ultimate for Arthur, and then move the Estarossa card. We're not going to attack, because that will give him a buff because of his commandment. He will lower your HP related stats with the debuff card that he has. So thankfully having immunity will prevent us from that. We're going to actually ult with Estarossa, but we're not going to ult with Arthur. We're going to actually get the ult for Bon, because I actually just want to double ult next turn and not, take any chances whatsoever. Ult attack, just for lifesteal sake, and then do this. Alright, pretty smooth. This boss can be pretty challenging, but we cheese it our own way. And again, with the pretty good passives like lowering his attack as well, he could have done way more damage to our Starosta. But, you know, with us lowering his attack, plus damage reduction from Arthur, that was really nice. Okay. I would like... if there was a way to make my whole team mono blue right now, it would be great for the last boss, but we'll see what happens. These sorts of passives are also pretty common. You see mostly this one increases like specific like race allies basic stats by X%. We will actually be picking the increases attack by 10% because I think our DPS could be much more better used and actually having more HP at the end. And ooh, Lolly Merlin. That is interesting. Margaret is pretty powerful, so is Light Liz. If you do have Margaret, if you can make... Unfortunately, again, the best you can have of this passive... Can I see my passives? The best one you can have of this one, of the getting 3, is either different races, same race, or different attributes. The one with the same attribute makes it so restrictive because of the last boss. And at this point, I find it pretty tough to imagine we can actually switch into a mono blue team. Let's actually pick the Lolly Merlin and replace the Bon. Replace the Jericho. Replace the Jericho. I think it will be the best course of action here. If you don't have Lolly Merlin, you know, just pick a different... I mean, Lolly Merlin isn't the best character. I'm just picking her for this. Oh, 100 for a different character. I would like to see what the character get. Ooh, unknown basic stats by 20. She could hit so hard. Or do I increase my level? That is a tough decision. See, these decisions are tough. These decisions are pretty tough because I want to be as leveled up as possible when we get to the last boss so we can actually out-CC him. These decisions are pretty tough. I think I will save my money and choose to awaken my characters. Oh damn, I had not... I did not know this Monspeed was a boss. Okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Alright, change of teams, I know, but listen, I literally just died in this fight right here while recording this on my global account, and I've been trying to, you know, redo the whole thing on global and get to the final boss. This is over. The only thing left for me to show is the final boss, just for, you know, so you can understand how the final boss works. But I've been getting so unlucky and I want to upload this today still at a good time. So I'll just use this footage I have from yesterday. Yesterday I played the game mode like quite a bit just to figure stuff out and figure out all the passives and stuff like that. And this fight right here, avoid this fight. I'm telling you, this is the worst fight ever. It is a random fight. I think it's this one on the last board. I think it's this one. It can be this one or another one. The Kusok. So let me go back here. So the Fraudulent seals your ultimate gauge, so you can't, you know, ult rush the passive up to your ultimate level. The Kusok one-shot my Starosta, even though he has type disadvantage, and he one-shot with a level 1 card. I don't know his passive, I didn't check, but avoid this fight, because god damn, he straight up just one-shot him. He had my Starosta had maximum HP, he had full HP. And Kusok just one-shot him. So I actually don't know what his passive is and why he did that. But in any case, avoid this fight. And let's just skip for the final boss. This is a different run with different passives, but it doesn't matter. Passives are completely random. And the reason why I said that on global I've been struggling to actually get a good run with good RNG and good passives. The passive of getting through ultimate gauge, you can only get in a specific point. And no kidding, I have not gotten this in 5 runs. This passive, the only times I've gotten were using 3 of the same element, which again is terrible, don't want to do it again, and that's it. So I'm just going to show how the final boss works. So let's play the video here. So this is a completely different team. Sorry, Merlin is terrible for this boss because you can't attack seal him. So at this point, you would want to like move her out, but this is the final boss. This is the Berserk Miliotis that we still don't have a unit of, and might be... Listen, they've been releasing a Miliotis every end of year. Maybe this will be this end of year. And the whole gimmick of him is that he has Assault Melee's passive. I don't know exactly his CC, because I have not out-CC'd him yet. But he hits quite hard, and every single time he attacks you, you lose an ultimate gauge. So you want to ult rush with the characters that aren't going to be targeted. Margaret is phenomenal for this fight if you end up getting her along the way. The 1 is the best. So if you end up with a 6/6 the 1 by the end, you will one-shot him and then kill him again, because he has a revive that will revive him for like, I think 30% of HP. If you can get the 1, which the 1 is a free-to-play character, I would consider him, given that he was given for free. Even at 1/6, it doesn't matter what ultimate level you have of him. If you have him and you can get him, he will be very, very powerful. Here, ult with Margaret, I kill him, and he does have revive. I guess it's 21% that he revives with, and then I kill him again with the Merlin, and that's it. That's the game mode. That's the final boss. Again, the Drow to me is still the hardest boss in the game mode because of he's just so powerful. But this guy, if you're ill prepared, he could be challenging as well. I would have beaten him with my mono green team. As you can see, he's very squishy. He just hits you kind of hard. I just died to a level 1 from a blue character on my mono green team. Unbelievable. But yeah, this fight is tough. Try to avoid this fight. And yeah, maybe I'll finish my global run tomorrow on stream if I don't get super unlucky. But yeah, the passives can be annoying. I was getting pretty infuriated that I was constantly getting the passive that you do more damage to debuffed enemies, which doesn't work on bosses, so you don't want to have that. And I was constantly getting the passive that you get more stats for like female characters. It's just terrible all around. But yeah, good luck on the game mode. Again, you have 1 month and then it's gonna reset, so not too much rush, but make sure to do it.